Hi, and welcome to our Solar System Science Fiction Bookshelf. Our goal this semester was to allow people to explore the chronological impact of astronomy and space travel on the portrayals of our solar system in fiction. Our dataset consists of 459 science fiction novels published over the past 363 years. For the purposes of this project, we stuck to full-length novels and novellas, and mostly to books originally published in English. The data for our project comes primarily from the book review site Goodreads, with some additional data on historical events from NASA. Our intended users are science fiction enthusiasts, historians, or just curious individuals interested in learning more about our solar system. They could be novices to the field of science fiction or expert users. With that, let's suppose that instead of studying for the InfoVis final, you decided to watch Starship Troopers. Maybe not the greatest decision ever, but now you're interested in learning about Heinlein's other works. Let's start with a basic question. What other kinds of books has Heinlein written? Using this viz, you can just jump into the authors panel. Once you filter down to Heinlein's work, you can see he's written 16 novels between this time period, and that he was most active during these years. You can also see that the other visualizations update based off of the filters. If you want to learn more about the novel, you can go into the results bookcase, which is ordered by a book's publication date. By hovering over the cover, you can get a brief summary about the book, or you can hold down the command key and click on the novel, which will link you out to a Goodreads site to see the reviews, ratings, and other similar books. You can also see that he's written novels with 4 other authors. The size of each block in the tree map is proportional to the number of books written by each author, which you can see here that he's co-authored exactly 1 book with these 4 authors. Or you could have an entirely different query. How has the way we speak about science fiction changed over time? Let's start by removing all the filters that we've just created. If you click on a word like Martian, you can see that it first appeared in 1894, and its usage has increased over time since the 1950s. We can also see which authors wrote the most books containing the word Martian, and see which other keywords co-occur most frequently with the filtered keyword. Next, we'll look at sentiment. Let's go with Burroughs. Looking into Burroughs' writing style, you can look at this hip sentiment panel, which gives you an idea of the tone the author uses throughout the book. And what it'll show you on the x-axis is a range from positive to negative, while the y-axis uses objective and subjective. Like if you have extreme language and modifiers like very, 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 you would have more of a subjective tone, versus objective, which is much more mild and uses an even-keeled language. So back to Burroughs. You can see that his books fall in the neutral area, but have this interesting trend line and these outliers. But what I'm particularly interested in is how it changes over time. I can go up to the timeline visualization and select the later books and see that his later works are more positively subjective. So very, very, very is very appropriate. I can also look at these outliers by clicking into the sentiment graph and dragging the selection box around. So we haven't really talked about the historical aspect of the viz. For example, let's filter by poor old Pluto. You look at the events and discover that Pluto was discovered in 1930. You can see, as expected, there's a boom in novels written about Pluto after that. But wait, there's a book written about Pluto before it was even discovered. How can this be, you might ask? Conveniently, we can help you answer that question. Clicking on the bar chart filters you down to the book written by H.P. Lovecraft. We ended up Googling this, but apparently before Pluto was discovered, there was an idea that a 9th planet might exist, and Lovecraft used this idea to describe a frozen Pluto-esque planet years before it was discovered. Isn't that neat? At any rate, you can also scan over the other historical events in the timeline to view the history of astronomical discovery in our solar system. So that gives you a good overview of the different interactions that you can do while using our visualization. Things that we would like to include as future work would be brushing and linking, so being able to hover over a date and get a preview of a query, adding a more explicit search, such as searching for the author H.G. Wells. Additionally, we think that adding other science fictional forms of media, such as movies, TV shows, or short stories, would make for a much richer experience. And being able to filter between sci-fi subgenres like teenage romance or adventure and mystery would also add for a fuller interaction. With that, I'll conclude this video and let you go. Thank you for watching.